Thank you all very much. Thank you. Lord Mayor Alderis, First Mayor, First Minister Trimble, Deputy First Minister Malone, Mr. Prime Minister, to the members of the Northern Ireland Assembly, the citizens of Belfast in Northern Ireland. It is an honor for me to be back here with our delegation, including two members of our cabinet, distinguished members of Congress, our ambassador and consul general, and of course, the best investment we've ever made in Northern Ireland, Senator Mitchell. I'd like to begin just simply by saying thank you to the leaders who have spoken before me, to David Tribble and Seamus Matoni, the party leaders, and the other members of the Assembly whom I met earlier today. The former Prime Minister Tony Blair, in his absence, to Prime Minister Ahern, and to the predecessors of whom I have worked, Prime Ministers Burton and Reynolds Major. This has been a long and a magic thing to see unfold. The developing for peace among the people of Northern Ireland 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was here, and I could see in the eyes of the people of Belfast, Derry. I saw, as Seamus Malone said, the morning light began to dawn after Ireland's long darkness. On Good Friday, with the leaders' commitment to solving their problems with words, not weapons. It's the whole sky a month later, when you voted so overwhelmingly for the peace agreement. Now this assembly is living embodiment of the promise of the covenant. Together, people and leaders are moving Northern Ireland from the deep freeze of despair to the warm sunshine of peace. For 30 long years, the Troubles took a terrible toll. Too many died. Too many families grieved. Every family was denied the quiet blessings of a normal life, and the constant fear that a simple trip to the store could be devastated by bombs and bullets. In the daily disruptions of roadblocks and searches, and the ominous presence of armed soldiers always on patrol in neighborhoods circled by barbed wire, guarded gates, and 20-foot fences. No wonder this question was painted on the Belfast wall. Is there life before death? Now at least your answer is yes. From here on, the destiny of Northern Ireland is in the hands of its people and its representatives. From farming to finance, education to healthcare, this new assembly has the opportunity and the obligation to forge the future. The new structures of cooperation you have approved can strengthen the equality of our ties to both London and Dublin, based on the benefits of interdependence, not the burdens of division or dominance. In peace, you can find new prosperity, and I heard your leaders seeking it. Since the 1994 ceasefire, the number of passengers coming to and from the international airport and ferry port has increased more than 15%. And just the other morning when I arrived here, I noticed the increase in the air traffic. It's something else. The number of hotel rooms under construction has doubled. I'm staying in a new one. It's awesome. And in the wake of the Good Friday Agreement, you are projected to receive record levels of investment, foreign and domestic, bringing new jobs and opportunity and hope. The United States has supported your quest for peace, starting with Irish Americans, whose commitment to this cause is passionate, profound, and enduring. It has been one of the great privileges of my presidency to work with the peacemakers, Protestant and Catholic leaders here in the North. Prime Minister Blair and Prime Minister Ahern, our Congress, as you can see, if you have visited with our delegations, has reached across its own partisan divide for the sake of peace in Northern Ireland. I hope some of it will infect our consciousness as they go back home. And I think we need a little bit of that back in the United States. They extraordinarily support for the International Relief Fund to Ireland the $100 million investment over the past 5 years. I am delighted that they're both Republican and Democratic members with me today, as well as Jim Lyons, my special advisor for economic initiatives in Northern Ireland, and Senator Mitchell, whom you welcomed so warmly just a few moments ago. In the months and years ahead, America will continue to walk the road of renewal with you. We will help to train your assembly members, support NGOs that are building civic societies from grassroots, invest in our common future through education, promote cross-border and cross-community understanding, create with you microcredit facilities to help small businesses get off the ground, support the trade and investment that will benefit both our people. I want to thank the Secretary of Education for being with us today, and the Secretary of Commerce, who led a trade commission here back in June, back this last summer. They've already shown results. Chancellor Brown makes the next important step with his mission to 10 American cities next month. As you work to change the face and future of Northern Ireland, you can count on America. Of course, for all we can and will do, the future is still up to you. You have agreed to bury the violence of the past. Now you had to build a peaceful and prosperous future. To the members of the Assembly, you owe it to your country to give it your best, and by showing them the best in yourselves. Difficult, sometimes wrenching decisions lie ahead, but they must be made, and because you have agreed to share responsibilities, whenever possible, you must try to act in concert, not conflicts, to overcome obstacles, not create them, to rise above petty disputes, not fuel them. The Latin word for assembly is contritum. It is the root word of reconciliation. The spirit of reconciliation must be rooted in all you do. There is another quality you need too. Irish Catholic president and one of my heroes growing up, John Kennedy, loved to quote a certain British Protestant prime minister. Courage, Winston Churchill said, is rightly esteemed as the first of all qualities because it's the quality that guarantees all others. Courage and reconciliation were the heart of your commitment to peace. Now as you go forward, courage and reconciliation must drive this assembly in specific ways to decommission the weapons of war that are obsolete in Northern Ireland. At peace, to move forward with the formation of an executive council to adapt your police force so that it's more confident and more respect of all the people. To end street justice, because defining crime, applying punishment, and enforcing the law must be left to the people's elected representatives. The courts and the police to pursue early release of prisoners whose organizations have truly abandoned violence, and to help find a productive, constructive place in society to build a more just society where human rights are their birthrights, and every citizen receives equal protection and equal treatment under the law. These must be the benchmarks of the new Northern Ireland. I must say the words and actions of your leaders this week and willingness to meet the hopeful reflections of the spirit of courage and reconciliation that must embrace all the citizens. Also hopeful are the activities of the community leaders here today, the non-government organizations, those in business, law, and academia. And especially, I salute the women who have such a powerful force for peace. I have to tell you, yesterday was a fantastic day listening to some of the voices of confidence. And Andres, you said we are pledged to follow up on the partnership established there, and I'm going to hold you to that. All your voices are vital. The example you set among your neighbors, the work you do in your communities, the standards you demand for your elected officials, all these will have a very large impact on your future. and to the people of Northern Ireland. I say it's your will for peace, after all, that has brought your country to this moment of hope. Do not let it slip away. It will not come again in our lifetime. Give your leaders the support they need to make the hard but necessary decisions. With apologies to Mr. Yates, help them to prove that things can come together, that the center can hold. You voted for a future different from the past. Now you must prove that the passion for reason and moderation can trump the power of extremes. There will be hard roads ahead. The terror in Omaha was not the last bomb of the Troubles. It was the opening shot of a vicious attack on peace. The question is whether there'll be more bombs and more attempts to undo with violence the verdict of the ballot box. There may well be more. The question is whether tempers will flare and debates will be divisive. They certainly will be. The question is, how will you react to all of them? To the violence, how will you deal with your differences? Can the bad habits and brute force of yesterday break your will for tomorrow's peace? That is the question. In our so-called modern world, from Bosnia to the Middle East, from Rwanda to Kosovo, from the Indian subcontinents to the Angolan people, still hate each other over this. Their differences are race, tribe, and religion in a fruitless struggle to find meaning in life who were not, rather than asking God to help us become what we ought to be. From here on in Northern Ireland, you have said that one dividing line matters, the line between those who embrace peace and those who would destroy it. Between those energized by hope and then paralyzed by hatred. Between those who choose to build up and those who want to keep tearing down. So much more unites than divides us. The values of faith, family, work, and community. The same land heritage, the same love of laughter and language. You aspire to do the same things, to live in peace and security, to provide your loved ones to build a better life and pass on brighter possibilities to your children. These are not Catholic or Protestant dreams. These are human dreams to be realized best together. The American people, as Lord Major noted, now from our own experience about bigotry and violence rooted in race and religion, still today we struggle with the challenge of building our one nation out of our increasing diversity. But it's worth the effort. We know we are wiser and stronger, happier when we stand on common ground, and we know you will be too. And so members of the Assembly, citizens of Belfast, people of Northern Ireland, remember that the early days of the American Republic, the Gaelic term for America was Innisfell, Island of Destiny. Today, Americans see you as Innisfell, and your destiny is peace. America is with you. The entire world is with you. May God be with you and your strength for the work ahead. Thank you all very much. Thank you.